everyone, and welcome to the Sustaining Sustainability Series podcast presented by EY India Insights podcast series. We at EY are committed to taking meaningful actions towards climate action and social inequity. In this podcast series, we will explore some of the leading global organizations and how they are building a better working world, especially by leveraging technology and innovation in their sustainability journey to create value for all their stakeholders. Uh, I am Nitesh Mehrotra, your host for the podcast and EY sustainability partner. We at EY and I firmly believe that sustainability transformation requires the scale of the industrial revolution and importantly, the speed of the digital revolution to create value for our stakeholders. My guest today is Vimal Dangri. He's a senior C-suite member of Mastek Limited, responsible for ESG and sustainability journey at Mastek, and he's and his team has been overseeing its sustainability strategy and execution at Mastek. Mastek, as you all know, I don't need to introduce, is a leading global player in the tech sector and a well-known organization, enterprise level digital engineering and cloud transformation business. Welcome to the podcast, Vimal.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be part of the podcast about sustainability and ESG, Nitesh. It's such an important topic, especially in the current times.
Yep, absolutely, Vimal, and welcome to this discussion. So, Vimal, to start with, I wanted you to share a little bit an overview of your business and the organization vision at Mastek. I think that'll be helpful for our listeners.
Sure. So Mastek is a premier IT service provider and has been transforming the digital objectives of its customers for over 3 decades across more than 40 countries. Right from navigating the digital landscape to unlocking the power of data and staying competitive, we help enterprises modernize applications and accelerate digital advantage. As part of our strategic vision 2025 that will drive accelerated growth over the next 3 years, our goal is to grow threefold, at least, in terms of revenue in the second half of the decade. We also want to be among the top three in growth among mid-cap IT services and benchmark for great places to work and customer delight. We already have great places to work as a tag. This is the last year we got it for our India, UK, and Middle East business.
Thank you. Thanks, Vimal, for sharing that overview. Vimal, now pivoting to sustainability, and I know sustainability is a critical part of your business strategy. And I think as you look at it, what do you think are the key challenges as you strive towards creating a more sustainable future? And more importantly, I think will be important for our listeners to know that how is Mastek intending to deal with some of these challenges?
Yeah. So at Mastek, we're deeply invested in reimagining our future into a shared reality that everyone can adapt to with ease and benefit from equitably. Our ESG vision focuses on shaping and sharing solutions to tackle this global challenge. Climate change and increasing global warming at alarming rate is the key sustainability challenge, as you know, Nitesh, faced by every industry, including the tech sector, considering the high dependency on electricity due to automations and digitization. Another key social dimension is skill availability and retention, which is very relevant for an IT company like Mastek. Growing market with newer business models requires specific skills with lesser lead time. This gets further challenging as the organizations are adopting remote or hybrid ways of working. At the same time, it's an opportunity to source talent from newer locations not tried before, opening a much wider talent landscape. And we know how organizations have innovated during the time of COVID. And I think such innovations are only furthering, irrespective of the growing concern about work back, coming back to office. And Mastek continues to thrive there. Mastek ESG's priorities and goals are also aligned to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals.
Thank you. Thanks, Vimal, for that overview. So I think moving along a little bit, I know as we keep talking, sustainability is a marathon, right? And it's not a sprint, so to say. So it's a long journey, and obviously it's constantly emerging and evolving. So with that backdrop, Vimal, what do you think, where Mastek is currently in their ESG journey? And more importantly, what are the goals that you're tracking in this very complex and evolving journey, Vimal?
Yeah. So our ESG vision focuses on shaping and sharing solutions to tackle this global challenge. The ESG roadmap is aimed to lay out the actions that Mastek will take and execute to achieve its sustainability objectives. As you know, Nitesh, in collaboration with your ESG team, we have emphasized on a few important pillars, and to name some of them, I think the name that the first one that I would always go for is the governance part. Mastek has the governance has been synonymous to Mastek's name in its last 40 years of existence. Mastek continues to strengthen this in manners possible. We've implemented certain actions which became part of the law later, for example, CSR contribution and such. Um, Added to that, the creation of ESG metrics and benchmarking, capacity building across the global functions at Mastek, digitization of our ESG roadmap, ESG rating, IQ, and benchmarking. Lastly, Mastek being among the top 10 Indian companies to benchmark SASB metrics for ESG performance. So some of these stand out for Mastek, and then thanks for your team, Nitesh, to help us with this. Our roadmap ahead entails first focusing on net zero targets and accelerating our transition, digitization and automation of ESG monitoring, focusing on sustainable supply chains. Sustainable learning is a key element within our employee skill development framework. If I have to break it down between E, S, and G, for E, environment, Mastek aims to achieve carbon neutrality by financial year 26 and our net zero target by financial year 30. We are accelerating our transition to a low carbon economy through technological innovations and broad stakeholder engagement. For social, we aim to achieve 40% gender diversity by financial year 26. Also, our company has a strong and established CSR framework. This framework existed even before CSR became a law as per the Companies Act 2013. Our mission is informed giving, responsible receiving. Mastek is committed to touch 1 million lives through its CSR program by financial year 28. We are committed to achieve 25% social return on investment as calculated by the social policy in UK. For governance, we have a rich legacy of ethical governance practices, and we follow a sound corporate governance practice with a view to bring transparency in our operations and maximize shareholder value. So this was a little bit of a glimpse into our goals and visions, and we are really striving hard to see all of this pan out.
Thank you. Thanks, Vimal, for sharing a very comprehensive led approach that you're taking, and especially I think goals which are embedded into your business ways of working. Uh, so Vimal, coming to our last question, and I think it's a question many of our listeners always think about, and is essentially pertaining to the business case for sustainability. So what do you think has been the impact of all the goals and ambitions bold ambition, I must say, that you talked about? And so what's the impact of these initiatives across all your stakeholders, Vimal, in your view?
That's a great question, Nitesh, and thanks for asking. Um, I'm starting with investors. Mastek's inclusion in the Dow Jones Sustainability Index, this index being the world's most renowned ESG indices, amplifies its corporate sustainability convictions aligned with its investment portfolios. Mastek's detailed ESG performance increase the level of transparency and help investors in making long-term decisions. I think that's a first big impact we have seen. For employees and for the leadership, to start with, ESG is included in Charter of Terms of Reference of Risk Management and Governance Committee, which oversees the ESG-related risk and identification of measures for risk mitigation, including systems and processes for internal control of identified risks. For our employees, Mastek aims to promote digital skills and increase in average learning hours per employee by organizing various trainings and sponsoring certifications. For society as a whole, Though through the Mastek Foundation, we inspire and encourage our employees to give back to the community, and we support NGOs to scale and build their capabilities through IT. In FY22, 15 CSR projects helped 44,000 plus beneficiaries. We also emphasize on importance of skill development, and this can be seen through our Project Deep Blue initiative, which is a contest encouraging young students to develop IT applications to solve real-world problems, such as access to eye care, plastic waste management, and public sanitation.
Thank you. Thanks, Vimal. Very comprehensive. And I think I really like the way I think you talked about all your stakeholders, right? Whether it's the employees, obviously, which is a very, very important stakeholder for you as a business enterprise, talked about the society, community, as well as investors and your customers. So very, very helpful, Vimal, for that overview. Vimal, I think to conclude, thank you so much for your time and valuable insights. I'm sure many of our listeners, and hopefully all of our listeners, found the conversation and the journey that Mastek is taking inspiring and helpful, to embed some of those in their journey as well. And looking forward to many more such conversation with you and the years to come, Vimal, and obviously pursuing some of the great work Mastek is doing, and how is it, I think, importantly, creating value for all the stakeholders. So thanks, Vimal, for all the time and sharing your insights.
Yes, Nitesh, definitely. And thanks to you, to Pallavi, Vikas, and your team for having me. It is a privilege to be part of such a podcast where we can share our experiences and insights with a larger audience. Thank you.
Absolutely, Vimal. On that note, we have reached the end of our podcast. Thank you so much to all our listeners for tuning in.